thing.
Yeah, I had to do 2 layers.
Yeah, right.
Because it wasn't dark enough.
Wow. So that's actually 2 transparencies together.
Yeah.
And because it's not that detailed.
Yeah.
It's still pretty sharp though.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It's fucking done to these people.
Well, yeah. G'day champions, if anyone's there. Just looking at Dad's transparencies for his valve testing unit.
Your valve testing unit?
My valve testing unit.
Yeah.
Just check the settings.
Merry Christmas, mate.
Merry Pissmas.
Yeah.
3 dB. See how that goes. Is that too quiet? Sorry?
Okay.
What are you saying?
I say it was a bit of a trip getting to this. Doing the whole bloody thing. Yeah, well.
So there's Dad's PCB transparencies for photo etching, photo exposing before etching with ferric chloride because he's a madman.
Yeah. Designed on KiCad, of course.
So that was done on KiCad, and then you transferred it to Inkscape.
Yeah, I used Inkscape to get the negative.
Right.
Yeah.
So doesn't KiCad do that?
You can.
Oh, okay.
I think I actually did. I don't know if I used Inkscape.
Right.
But all the others I had to use Inkscape.
Yeah. Sweet as. What's going on, legends? Merry Christmas to all. Just playing with my remote setup here. Just let me know if anything plays up, which is 6 dB. It's probably about right. So, how are we all? What's going on? Happy Festivus for the rest of us. Pop that over there. So it wouldn't be Christmas without doing an amp build. Or 2. So what are we doing this Christmas? We're doing a deluxe reverb champions. But not just any deluxe reverb. We're doing a turret board. And not a 1-for-1 with the original design either. We're optimizing it a bit. So a while back, Lyle did a video on a turret build where he retrofitted a AB763 style circuit into basically a gutted deluxe reverb reissue. I'm not sure why it was gutted or if it was just specifically asked for by the customer, but he shared with me that layout. I created a Princeton reverb layout, which we did last year, with a similar sort of style. I made some changes, sort of to suit how I wanted it laid out. But I thought let's do the deluxe reverb pretty close to original. I will do my own layout, but it will be pretty heavily inspired by the way that Lyle did stuff, because it's all, if you give two, I'm not calling myself a fucking engineer, but if you give 2 engineers the same problem with the same constraints, chances are they're going to end up with pretty close to the same you know, final design to get around the problem. So what are we going to do? We're going to have no brass plate across the front. We're going to have grounding sort of optimized, split into 2. The screen and reservoir cap ground are going to be located in this area. And we're going to have the preamp and input ground at the input jacks. And it's all going to be 3mm turret, fiberglass. This is the longest one I could find. It's got to be cut down. I've got to cut it down on the bandsaw. It's like 100mm wide at the moment. It needs to be about 75. And clean that up by hand with a file. Make it nice and shiny. A few scratches and stuff, but whatever. Now, I don't like the green colour, but hey, this is going to be the second last turret build I'll ever do. And the last will be a Dirty Shirley, which the chassis and parts are over there. But that chassis is all sort of bolted together, ready to go. Today I'm just going to get everything bolted in and maybe do some heater wiring and just have a chilled out chat with y'all. So there's the boards for the Dirty Shirley, or as I'm going to call it, the Manky Mary. Copyright being what it is. I'm not going to sell these, I'm just going to hang on to them because I just would like to have a Dirty Shirley thing that I built. And I had some parts lying around, so I thought I may as well. Excuse me, I've got a little bit of hay fever at the moment. I've had some really windy, dry days recently, which is what sets it off. So we've got Tube Amp Doctor chassis. I feel like I might be clipping the mic a bit there. Let me know if it is. Tube Amp Doctor chassis. And we've got a generic face plate. A generic rear plate. So we could fill in the details here with the voltage and stuff. There's no marker for ground, for the ground switch, so we can make the ground switch whatever we want or leave it blank. We could make it a negative feedback switch, or we could make it a master volume. Since it's over there near the output stage, we could make it a post-phase inverter master volume. And get this thing screaming at lower levels, which would be cool. Because when you've got a master volume if you retrofit a non-master amp, chances are you're going to sort of set it to whatever the application is and kind of forget it. Like if you're at home, you'll set it right down low. If you're in the studio, you might set it sort of halfway or something. And if you're live, you might crank it all the way up. So you probably could have like a mode switch, but yeah, we'll make it continuously variable. And being that it's post-phase inverter master volume and it's right over near the output valves, that's actually quite handy. You've got the mains running under it, but it's pretty high level stuff around there, so it shouldn't interfere with it. Did Dave give you the schematic for a Dirty Shirley? No. I reverse engineered one for repair. But yeah, there's not a lot of, groundbreaking stuff in there. It's a hot rodded Marshall. But yeah, I'm going to do my own take on it as well. But yeah, the basic principle will be a Dirty Shirley, just because it's a JTM 45 chassis and configuration. Excuse me for a sec. I did ask Dave for permission first, and he said, yeah, it's fine. I'm not selling them. I'm just building one. But it's a hot rodded JTM 45 essentially. So you can hear the wattle birds and cicadas and rainbow lorikeets going crazy outside. I decided to turn off the noise suppression for that reason, so you can hear the surrounding environment. I just made a nice coffee. Not iced coffee, a nice coffee. Alright, so let's get some hardware happening. Kind of enjoy this stage where you just bolt and shit together and you don't have to think too hard for obvious reasons. Alright, got some shorting jacks. Get the RCA jacks. I hope I pack them. $1 million things they are. Got my toolbox down here. Nice B&W case. Excuse the sniffing. I'll try to keep it to a minimum. What's the difference between pre and post master volume? Well, so when you say pre or post master volume, do you mean pre phase inverter and post phase inverter master volume? Because in that case, the phase inverter can impart quite a lot of character in the distortion. Often the sound that you hear, like in an AC30 or whatever, is primarily the phase inverter distorting. So if you want that character, having a master volume before the phase inverter is a bit simpler. But you lose that character of the phase inverter breaking up. If you want that, you want a post-phase inverter master volume, so it still breaks up, but you only send a percentage of that broken up signal to the output valves. Now, a lot of cases, pre-phase inverter master volume might be adequate and maybe preferred in some cases, like metal amps, where the majority of the distortions from the preamp, cold clippers and whatnot. A post-phase inverter master volume in that case may be less desirable. If you want that real smooth sort of 90s distortion, I guess, all of that comes from preamp distortion. But you could have both. You could have one pre and one post if you want output stage distortion, or post phase inverter distortion. Let me just get my head straight. If you want phase inverter distortion, turn the pre-phase inverter master all the way up, and then use the post, and the pre-phase inverter master volume is essentially out of circuit. If you want post-phase inverter, turn if you want no phase inverter distortion, I'm trying to say, turn the post-phase inverter master volume all the way up, and the pre, use that to control your master. And if you want output stage distortion as well, crank them all up and use an attenuator. Oh look, a native stingless bee just landed on the amp and then flew away. Just catch up on chat, yo. Happy and peaceful Christmas to all from Scotland. Enjoy the cheap whiskey this break. G'day Dustin, g'day BC. Oh, Dustin's left. BC Electronics Joe. Villy S, is that how you say it? Martin Reed, Alan Farmer, Lucas, g'day. Juan, he's just Juan guy. Paul, how you going, legend? Mulled wine and pork pies. It's around here, because it's hot, we have, sometimes on Christmas Day, we'll just have a sort of salad type setup, which you guys would lose your shit at. We'll have like cold cuts, I guess, cold meats and salad, because it's so damn hot. But we are actually having everyone around, because everyone's spread all over the place for Christmas. We're having the actual family Christmas on the 27th. Alright, so I want that there, and I want that to bite into that, so I'll put that first, and then that. This is the eyelet, then the lock washer, and then a washer, which for $8 a jack, Switchcraft don't seem to think they owe you one. Let's grab some extra nuts. I'll put that nut on the inside. I think these are standard 3/8 thread and salad duty this year. Do you have any tricks to compensate negative feedback when using post PI master volume? No, well that's the trade-off. It's kind of like, what are you going to do? Amplify the shit out of the feedback? There's probably ways to do it, but at the end of the day, is it really required? The one thing that you do get with post-phase inverter master volumes is your presence control becomes less and less effective as you turn it down, because that's part of the feedback loop. What's silly? Mum's saying something silly. Where are my nuts at, yo? Will I run out of nuts? Typical. Now, I'll just mount them on there. With the supplied nut, I like to recess those back jacks a little bit because they poke out too much. I can do that when I get home. Haven't got the cabinet here. This is actually going to go in a repurposed Tone Master cabinet. Sipping on Heineken. crazy media trying to scare all the kids with drones, but that's how they are. I've just been ignoring all that shit. It's just mass hysteria. Dickheads. You seppos, you lose your shit at anything, you're going back to peasant brain. Reverb input. There is reportedly a flesh-eating bacteria in this region at the moment. I haven't followed it up on news, but apparently it's mosquito-borne. So I'll be keeping an eye out for that. I've got a few mosquito stings already. I haven't looked into that in the news. I probably should. If I don't know about it, it can't hurt me, eh? You're getting an Isla single malt with an IPA. That's the match from heaven, mate. Good on you, Martin. Sipping on a Heineken. I've got some Schofferhofer here for later on today. Nuts are traditional at Christmas. Sorry, I got my hat and coat on the way out. Any opinions on Seriatone amps, Cherryatone amps? Still not sure. I assume it's Seriatone. Yeah, they're really good. I'd play one. I think they did kits at one point though, so if you're buying one, you're sort of at the mercy of whoever built it. So there's that. But now I believe they just do build to order. And yeah, the construction's really good. People say all I do is shit on amps, but I probably shit on like 25, like if I'm saying my opinion of an amp, like 75% of the time it's positive. They just don't listen to that because it doesn't fit their narrative. That I'm not to be trusted about any opinion because I don't match their opinion. So, but this year, coming year, I think I just won't bother engaging with trolls anymore. They just get banned straight away. Because ain't nobody got time for that. Power switch. It sucks a bit that Tube Amp Doctor didn't put a notch there for the switch. Having a Glenmorangie for breakfast. We've got some Glenmorangie here. You should see Dad's whiskey collection. It's really coming along. He actually ends up with a collection because he doesn't drink it all like I do. I brought a bottle of a bund, however you say it, the 61.5% Ablor. I don't know how to say it. Martin will be laughing into his IPA at my attempts to pronounce the crazy Gaelic shit. They still sell kits. Okay. Yeah, so I guess with a kit, you don't know who's built it, so as long as you run an eye over it and it's good, happy days, mate. You know what? I don't think I've got a fuse holder for this, but we'll worry about that later. Did I put one in? I don't remember seeing one. Maybe I did. I am making a deluxe reverb, Wes. It's going to be a bit of a spicy one, though. I made a Princeton reverb last year, so I'm going to make a deluxe reverb this year. And I gutted a Tone Master cabinet. So all of this is going in that. And they're actually pretty good quality cabinets. They're solid pine with a plywood, look like birch ply baffle. So they got that right. Have you had any experience with the Ampeg Portaflex PF20 or PF50 tube amps? Wondering about build quality and reliability. My experience with a hybrid SVTs is mixed. I have worked on a Portaflex PF20T, I believe it was, and I was pretty impressed. It was a good amp. Over here, they're brought in by Yamaha, so if you need anything, Yamaha's the guys to help you out. They're really good and helpful. G'day Six, how you going, legend? Hope you're not working today, at least. transformer is a mega fuse. I think the Hammonds have a inbuilt thermal fuse. I might be wrong there though. I thought it was a requirement these days to have that. So I've been playing with the computer and the synths and stuff. I've been out of the digital audio workstation world for a while, so I just got a copy of Cubase. Cubase, I forget what it is, but it's like Essentials or something. It's only 32 channel. I don't really need more than that. I don't really need the filmmaking shit or all added plugins and stuff, but Cubase has changed a lot though. I don't know if there's a way to change the interface back to sort of more traditional, but yeah, they're jamming a lot of stuff in one screen, so I've got to look into customizing it. But at the moment, I'm just playing with it to get myself familiarised with it because I've been out of it for so long. I've got a copy of Reaper on here as well. I'll just show you Cubase if I can do it without the computer crashing. That's Mum choking on something. Steinberg. Cubase. Come on. Cubase is mid. Download Reaper. Well, I'm trying to get my head around all of them, Six, not just one. That's the thing. Why is it mid? Tell me why it's mid. You're very opinionated. I grew up on Pro Tools. So everything's a bit mid compared to Pro Tools. But then people say Pro Tools is mid. It's one of those things, just, it's like religion. So you ask people what interface or what digital audio workstation to use, and often it's meaningless because they just say whatever they're using is the best, and then the next person says whatever they're using is the best and it's different, and then the next person says whatever they're using is the best and it's different again. So how do you pass that information? But anyway, here's Cubase. So that's the stock sort of setup, which I'm still getting my head around. Editor, I don't know what inspector is. I think inspector is whatever you've got the focus on, like if I change to the effect. Yeah, it just shows the details of whatever you're focused on. Got the transport down the bottom. This is like waveform view. Window. No. Like I say, I don't know what I'm doing yet. Oh yeah, there's the mix. Blah, blah, blah. Funny how when you listen to a song, no one can tell what DAW was used, yeah. What would you use, Wes? Are you using Nuendo or something? Because you're doing the filmmaking. I've worked with most of them over the years. Started on Pro Tools HD 7.1. Oh, I started on Pro Tools 5.1. Used Cubase, Logic, Reaper, Ableton, and some others. Reaper for the home user is brilliant. Yeah, Reaper's really good. Thought you'd be lounging around today with a single malt, not building an amp. Deluxe reverb shell. Yeah, this is relaxing when it's not for work. For electro production, Ableton is best. Cubase is very old-fashioned digital audio workstation that languished for years until the Yamaha bought them. So the vibe I'm feeling at the moment is Cubase is extremely new and it's nothing like it used to be. And I actually was hoping that it was like it used to be because I am old school. But it's completely changed since then. It's probably literally the version I got is the new one. For technically inclined people, Reaper is powerful. A lot of musos can't get on with it though. It seemed pretty it seemed easy to use in Cubase at first impressions, but the vibe I get from Reaper is it's a bit like Linux users. Like you can customize the hell out of it, but if you just want to go in and start working with it, it can take a bit of setup beforehand. Fix in Hawaii. How's the weather there? The weather in Hawaii is probably the same as here. I've been using Logic for 30 years. So Logic is Apple only, isn't it? The fact I'm getting into the final mix stage for a band's EP I'm producing coming out in January. Cool. If you got a link for it, man, feel free to post it as a comment on the next live stream or whenever it happens. Sprecher. Gone back to whistling Jay Giles band again. I'm sure Gooden will comment if he's here. That must be an old jack. It's a bit corroded. Yeah, I do have Reaper as well. I just wanted to get a feel of the other offerings. You know, San. For $150, may as well give it a go. Where are you, Joe? You're up in Queensland, are you? Back in 1 sec, champs. Yo. One thing we can all agree on is Adobe Audition is a bag of dicks. Well, Adobe, everything's a bag of dicks. Don't give Adobe any money for anything. They're just an asshole company. $83F. What's that? $83F. $83F2C. 28 degrees. That's the same as here, Victor. I was joking when I said that. It's winter there and you got the same weather as us. That's awesome. Rock and roll. The thing with Reaper is you can use it unrestricted. They just ask you to pay. So you can really get into the nitty gritty before decided to purchase it. Yeah, that's good too. Far North Queensland. Evelyn Tablelands. Well, enjoy your beautiful country that you can't swim in anything or do anything at. Find it funny in Queensland, you got this beautiful ocean, but you can't go in it because it's stinger season. You got these beautiful creeks and rivers, but you can't swim in them because there's crocs. You literally got to have a pool in the desert. I love it up there though. I love humidity and heat. I don't know why. Everyone thinks it's so uncomfortable, but I love it for some reason. Because I'm a weirdo. Just going through my massive box of parts. Just sort of threw everything in here and thought I'll sort it out later. As is often the case. Oh yeah, there's my nuts, my washers, $1 million RCA plugs. Did I bring any non-shunting jacks though? Maybe not. That's alright, I can use the shunting one and just replace it later with the right type, or just leave it in because who cares, and not use that terminal. Managed to get sunburn on my right arm yesterday from driving around. Remember that kids' sunscreen is a must these days. Always has been for me. I'm a big Reaper user fan. The Reaper blog has a 3-part YouTube series on settings to change on new installs. Would have saved me 18 months of experimenting if that video came out a few years earlier. You can swim anywhere once. Yeah, true, Juan. That is true. It's the Eastern Browns you have to watch up here, yeah. We get blue bottles down here, but I don't think it's blue bottle season. It depends on the wind. They're weird creatures, man. They're not even a creature. They're like a symbiotic group of 4 different organisms that all coalesce to become the thing that we call a blue bottle. Man, if you believe in aliens, they're already here. And they're on the beach. It's like a colony of friggin' 4 different organisms all working together. Crazy shit. Where's a 1/2-inch socket? There it is. No snakes, crocs, or anything much dangerous in New Zealand. Yeah. Joe Doe, I saw your question. Just give me a second. I'll post something. Here's a link. So, 6 here at Dr. Gear did an interview with the guys from Sun. So go over there and watch that once you're done with this. Got some holiday viewing there. If you want to escape the family arguing about politics. Thoughts on 1 watt amps? Not a fan. Just, you just hit the wall. They don't have the ability to get to that Fletcher Munson sweet spot. I find that 18 watts, say 18 to 30 watts sort of scratches my itch. But if I'm playing with a full band with a loud drummer, I probably want a 50 watt amp at least. And I don't care if the output stage gets a bit broken up, but if you're playing like genty down-tuned shit, I understand why people want 100 watt amps. Everyone goes, oh, 100 watts, who needs 100 watts? But what you're not understanding is these guys are basically playing bass through a guitar amp. They need that bottom end to be dead clean, not distorted, no output stage distortion, no flabby fartiness, but because the coupling caps and stuff go basically down to almost subharmonic frequencies to get that sound, blocking would be a massive thing if you broke up the output stage. So that's why they have like 100, 150 watt amps for down-tuned guitars, and it's kind of required, to be honest. Have you ever played with a metal drummer? You need all the help you can get. Brown snakes, yeah, they're bad, Joe. They're like, yeah, if you don't have any venom, you're fucked. One of the guys in my motorcycle club just spent over 100k on a custom trike powered with a V8. Fucking trikes, man. It's just like posing. I never understood trikes, particularly those stupid fucking, what are they called? Can-Ams with the 2 front wheels. Like, you've just taken away all the good parts of motorcycling. The handling, the speed, the agility, the look, and you're left with all the bad parts. The weather, the fact you probably die easier if you got hit, and the look. But yeah, trikes, I get it if you're fucking going super long distances and you've got a lot of luggage and you've got, you know, your partner on the back and whatever, but you just buy a car, man. If you're going to ride a bike, ride a bike. If you're going to ride a trike, just get a car. I see trikes a little bit like a convertible, you know? You just want the wind in your hair, just get a convertible. I don't have that problem. I get wind in my beard, but that's about it. -1C here, but sun. Nice. I mean, that's beautiful too, Mark. I do want to experience a white Christmas one day. That's Dad on the coffee machine. Sun amps were mostly solid state, at least here. Got an old 4x10 sun cabinet that I love. A beer bottle is a Portuguese man of war. Yeah, that's right. And the Portuguese man of war is not a single animal. It's like four in one. Really fucking weird. Look into it. It's, yeah. Like I say, there are aliens on this planet. And we are them. They have ringed octopus. Yeah, blue ringed octopus. They look pretty. So kids try to play with them and that kills them. My 100 watts is unsatisfying to me below 60% on the pre-phase inverter master volume. So what you are probably experiencing, Lucas Donnell, is AC/DC like tones at high volume, because what you are getting there is the bite from the output stage and the phase inverter overdriving. Now my 18 watt TMB that I got at home, you can get like stereotone versions of that. It's just a master volume, pre-phase inverter master volume. When you get the preamp distortion out of it, it sounds like Green Day. When you turn the preamp down and crank up the master all the way and only bring the preamp up until the phase inverter starts to distort, usually it's the first thing to distort unless you turn the master down, you get AC/DC at 18 watts and it sounds incredible. If you've got some nice bright speakers, you get that bite, you know, the real punch in the face tone. I love it. That with an SG, you're in AC/DC town. Merry Christmas to you, Mr. Doggo. Although the PI is an SVT style cathode follower, so pretty hard to get any breakup out of it. Well, the cathode follower, yeah, okay, yeah, I've got you. Pretty hard to get any breakup because they're trying to get clean. Which amp is it? Lucas? Did you say earlier what amp it was? I can't find it if you did. He's getting old. That's fair enough then, Victor. If you're riding bikes your whole life and you don't want to let it go and you're starting to get to the point where you couldn't lift the thing up if it fell over, because let's be honest, that could happen. Even if someone just pushes it over to be a fuckwit, you need to be able to pick your bike up. That's why I don't understand a lot of people riding Harleys and shit, because if it fell over, you need a fucking crane to pick the thing up. I've picked up my Aprilia once when the stand sunk into the tarmac in the heat. The tarmac melted and the stand fucking... Because the stand on the Aprilia is dog shit. I was going to replace it. Apparently the CBR 900 stand bolts on and it's got to like further out. But the one on the Aprilia is right there, so the leverage, it just pushes it into the ground. And I was at a bar once and having a beer after work and with a workmate, and this guy comes in, real rough pub too. The guy comes in and is like, "Mate, is that your bike out front?" I'm like, "Yeah, why?" And he goes, "Oh, it looks like someone might have pushed it over." Oh, fuck's sake. So I go out there with a helmet ready to punch on, because there's all these blokes pissed as fuck, like out there on a Friday arvo already. They've knocked off at midday and been drinking all arvo, so I thought some smart ass fuck might have pushed it over to start a fight, because that's what often happens at that pub. People will just start a fight for nothing. But yeah, I'm about to punch on with someone, going, "Who the fuck did this?" And then he goes, no, actually, look, I think the stand sunk into the tarmac," because they'd just done the tarmac on they've refurbished the back area of the pub, and the tarmac was only laid a week ago or something, and this was like a 45-degree day. And yeah, the stand had sunk right into the tarmac, so I had to lift it up, and I had the shits by then, so you get superhuman strength when you got the shits. It's like adrenaline, because I was ready for a fight, and then I realised that no one did it. It was just the bike, so I already had that adrenaline ready to pick the bike up. So I stood it up and put a rock or a piece of wood or something under the stand, and it snapped off the clutch lever. But being Brembos, they're mirror, like it's the same part left and right. It's just the hinge that's different to clamp on. So I managed to undo the front brake and take the lever from the front brake and put it on the clutch. So I had to get home with just the clutch and the back brake, which if you ride motorcycles, you understand how sketchy that is, not having a front brake at all. Because the front brake does 90% of the braking, the back wheel just locks up. The back brake is sort of to get you out of shit if you've gone into a corner a bit tough, because the front brake, if you hit it, it stands the bike up again, and then you go straight and you run into the you run wide on the curve. So you can sort of hit the back brake just to peel a bit of speed off if you've bitten off a bit more than you can chew going into a corner. But it is by no means an emergency brake. If you need to brake quick, the front brake is the one that does all the work, because it transfers the weight to the front wheel and pushes downwards and gives you better grip. But the back one just locks up. Ideally, you sort of trim your front and back brake to suit. So your back brake's doing 10%, your front brake's doing 90%, but that 10% does matter. I'd rather limp home with no clutch. Yeah, it's hard to stop at a set of lights though, Wes. You just sail through the red light, do you? Slow right down, wait for a gap and just go. Knowing my luck, I'd get pulled up. A ½ inch on the back. Yeah, nope. Then the wobble happens. Not a good feeling. Yeah, no front brakes is pretty scary, man. Oh, 1975 gun classic 100, totally rebuilt the circuit after 8 years of unreliability. Hey, well, you know what? It's not a classic amp, Lucas. So why don't you just do some Marshall-y type stuff in there? You know? Look at what Jace at Head First is doing, that kind of stuff. If you want real rip snort and fucking satisfying amp to play, don't worry about modifying it, because it's not an expensive amp. So Gun is a New Zealand brand, very similar to the Aussie brands at the time, like you know, Wasp and all of that stuff, Holden. I have an old Goldwing, but it falls over. Well, the good thing about the Goldwings is, what are they, 6 cylinders? Goldwing, are they the 6 cylinders? If they fall over, it just hits the engine and doesn't fall over. I think it's Goldwing I'm thinking of, that are 6 cylinders, six banger. How did you tame the HT? Oh, yeah, that's one of those huge HT voltages, eh? HT voltage amps. Got a Triumph Bonnie. I love a good Bonnie. Problem is, all the classic ones, all the vintage ones, they actually leak oil like a motherfucker. Back in the late 70s and early 80s, you could find Goldwings at good prices. Some old man found out he couldn't pick up the bike. Yeah. 4-cylinder. Okay, what am I thinking of then? Oh, the Valkyrie. The Honda Valkyrie. G'day, Lyle. How you going, legend? It's been a while. What's happening? How'd you go with the Renos? All finished? Renos. We call them Renos over here. Renovations. Sorry, I'm speaking in Aussie. First 4, then late. Oh, they were 6 later. Right. Because I thought it was the Valkyrie that was the 6-cylinder. The Honda Valkyrie. All I got this trip, champions, is push bike. I've got my Merida Big 9. I'll show you. Why not? Here we go. Got my ball and chain. Oh, listen to the Currawong. Can you hear it? I know, that's a magpie in the... He spotted me. It's in the bird bath. I love here how the birds all just get along together. They don't fight, all the natives. They just ignore each other. There she is. It's the Merida Big 9. 29-inch wheels. disc brake, hydraulic. Should check that oil actually. I've got to take it for a service. The front wheel's getting a bit rusty, the spokes, because I didn't clean it when put it away in winter. I should ride more in winter, but you just face like your eyes water the whole time from the cold, and if you hit anything it hurts 10 times more. Why does shit hurt more in winter? Reno going well, got both walls level with each other, making something and drinking coffee. Etouffee? I don't know what that is. I'm just a dumb Aussie. Funny you should mention Marshall. The tremolo insertion is via a cathode follower which drives the master volume. It's not too hard to get that to break up. Okay. Minus 31 on the grids brought the plate voltage down to about 690-ish. That's alright. EL34s will handle that. Etouffee. Okay, what is it? I'm not a sweet tooth, so I don't know. Cajun stew. Oh, okay. He's posting a video. Sick. I like his Christmas holiday cooking videos. Still got my old 90s Avanti. Gears eventually wore out, so I turned it into a single speed. Nice. Para river rides. Yeah, you want to make sure it's level for no gears. That's like a fixie. Is it a fixie? Yeah, it is. Oh. It's a bit shit. Oh, I bumped into this on one of the other manufacturers' chassis where it's like the light is too close to the bottom, the lamp. Jackie, how you going, legend? Merry Christmas, Brad. Well done on the growth of your channel here with all your new fans. Lots of love for an old fan. Hope you're copping a lot of rain at the moment, aren't you, Jack? Northern New South Wales. Did you guys hear that? That's a bit shit. Bit of some dags on the pilot light thing. Where's the drill? It's shrimp off a barbie. We don't have shrimp here, mate. We've got prawns. And that is what we're eating today, except not off the barbie. It's just pre-cooked prawns. That's another tradition in Australia on Christmas Day. Just boiled prawns, essentially. The ones you buy already cooked. I'm not a huge prawn eater myself, but everyone else loves them. Not a big fan of fishing out the fucking entrails. Prawns. Psionic prawns sounds like a Pokemon. One night, after a day of bar hopping and riding with a motorcycle, I was close to home. I had stopped the piss bike close to a curb. I fell over and got foot stuck between curb and bike. Jesus, you're right there. It's been positively tropical. I'm expecting floods next. Oh, I need a hiccup. Pardon me. Got a bag of raw prawns ready to marinate. Ooh, Thai flavors. You know what I love, Pete? Lemongrass, chili, and Szechuan. Maybe not lemongrass and Szechuan. Either lemongrass or Szechuan. Szechuan pepper with whole prawns in a piping hot wok. A little bit of oil, dried chili, salt, and like flakes of salt, and then just toss that shit around till you start getting the blistering on the shell, like a bit of charcoal on the outside. This piping hot wok. I love Asian style cooking. They've really got it sussed. The best thing about Australia is it's becoming more multicultural. You're starting to get more supermarkets and stuff like Asian food marts and multicultural sort of supermarkets where you can get like traditional Mexican or Asian style ingredients, Middle Eastern style stuff that you normally can't get here, because our grocery, particularly in the country here, our grocery can be really sort of homogenous English style shit, but it's getting better and better as every city becomes more and more multicultural. You get much more diverse flavors and stuff where you can actually get the stuff you need to be able to cook authentic foreign style cooking. It's great. Brad, you're really making me miss my old place with the gas stove. Yeah. I want to get one of those duckbill burners. They're like fucking... It's like a jet turbine. And a carbon steel wok. Jet turbine under it. And food doesn't even stick to it because it's too hot. It just like floats above it on like a cushion of its own steam. When you get a wok to a certain temperature, nothing touches it. Literally just slightly sits above it. And you get the wok hay, the breath of wok. My neighbour came by and asked what happened. Told I was drunk. Wasn't impressed. He's a 5'0". He told you that you were drunk. Were you drunk though? No offense, just asking. The one time I dropped a bike, well, not riding it, I was trying to move it while I was drunk, because we had a party or something. I was like 20. I had the ZZR250 out the front in the driveway, and someone had parked in, and I parked behind him, and I had to move. I was staying there that night. Actually, no, that was my place. And someone had to get their car out of the driveway, and it was a slope driveway with grass next to it. So I tried to put my bike on the grass, but I slipped on the slippery grass, and then the bike fell on top of me. I was sitting out there going, guys, little help. The ZZR250 line on top of me. Good times. I might just put the pots in there for now. I want to probably wire the jacks. It's been a while since I've wired up. That's your phone. Should I grab it? No, that sounds like they're getting it. A little more than drunk. Okay. I'll have to check out the vid. Psionic food. Should be another channel, yeah? Psionic food. Good etouffee could change someone's life in Australia, Norway, or Scotland. Yeah, true. But then bad one could make him never go near it again. You know what I'm saying? Oh, Lucas, there's no point using a wok unless you got a fucking rip snorter burner, eh? Even the average gas cooktop burner's nowhere near hot enough. It's like a tenth of how hot it needs to be. Szechuan, yeah, my marinade is basically sweet chili sauce, basil, lemongrass, ginger. That sounds very Thai, Pete. Coriander and a bit of sesame oil. Yeah, that's very Thai. That's good too. I love Thai cooking. Very different from Szechuan though. Szechuan's like astringent and numbing and tingle, make your tongue tingle as well. It's very hot, whereas Thai's like it can be sweeter, more more woody, sort of, you know, more lemongrass and yeah, lemongrass and basil. Like that's Thai, fresher, sort of more summery type taste. You know, I'm very bad at describing things. It's like when people try to get me to describe whiskey. I'm like, it tastes like the summer breeze. I don't know. Anyone watching Chris at Rift Dams? Is he doing a live stream? Live stream, is he? I didn't think he ever did live streams. Or are you just saying watching his channel in general? As far as I know, he's never done a live stream. I might be wrong though. Let's have a look. Rift amps. YouTube. So he just makes like turret builds only, eh? I haven't had time to watch much of his channels. I might catch up over the break. Rift amps. Yeah, I subscribe to him. I just never watch it because I'm always busy. Yeah, he's never done a live stream. He doesn't even have the tab. So you're just talking about watching his channel in general, eh? Some prawns are massive. Yeah, we've got king prawns. Brad, have you had a chance to check out Oriverb or Ori Crush? I don't even know what they are, Jason. You also lived in Thailand, Victor. Wow. Ginger, garlic, black pepper smashed up in water. Yeah, Lucas. That's awesome. Yeah. Got to finish cleaning the carpets. I'm listening, but away from the keyboard. That's right, Andy. Just sort of a catch-up stream to say good day to everyone on Christmas. I've got three prime rib on the second day of dry brining in the fridge. Yorkshire batter is chilling overnight for tomorrow. Shell is going to cook beef Wellington. That's her challenge for the Christmas break. It's not the easiest thing to cook because getting the outside crispy, getting the inside cooked just right. I suggested cheating and doing a sous vide. But then we have to buy a sous vide wand thing, which might be an option. Might be an option. What am I doing? Yeah. So I like to wire up the jacks on the front panel, but from the outside. So if you're on the inside, you can go there, and that goes to the middle terminal. So if we go that way, we get our centers right. Let's put the nuts on there temporarily. Hey woman. Yep. Do you want a coffee? You do know how to make them. Yeah, but no, it's such a dad machine. Alright, I've got to make Shell a coffee. I'll be back in 5, champions. Got my priorities straight. Now would be a good time to insert ads. I agree. Thank you, YouTube. Champions. Sure wouldn't let me keep going without wearing the bloody Christmas hat. See you, Lyle. Take it easy, champ. Pinch the tail and suck the head. That's what I told her. I watch Rift. I watch anyone who knows their shit. Yes. Yeah, he definitely knows what he's doing. He's a good guy. There's a lot out there that don't. I'm one of them. I love beef Wellington. Made it a few times. How'd you go, Wes? Getting it like medium rare? I like my steak medium rare, but it can be tricky to get it to the point where it's like feeds everyone. Yeah, we'll probably make multiple ones. Probably make a medium rare one and a more well done one. My wife is Vietnamese. Oh, I got a t-shirt for you then, Victor. One sec. Got to get this t-shirt for her, Victor. Foking delicious. We might like that. Can't get into all this food talk. I've been a vegetarian all my life. Vegetarian's good. What's wrong with that, Martin? There's heaps of good vegetarian stuff. Vegetarian, I think, it's. I find most vegetarian people. There's two types. There's the ones that go above and beyond, and everything's amazing and delicious, and you don't even notice it as vegetarian because it's so good. Often you can get lazy cooking and lean on the meat. Lean on your meat. And then there's the other type of vegetarians that just eat like fake meat stuff, like you know, fake turkey. What do they call it? Tofu turkey, and just shit that's trying to be meat, and it's just gross and processed like slabs of poo. But yeah, if I was vegetarian, I'd cook like crazy, probably more than I do at the moment, because it's easy to be lazy and just lean on the meat. It's the star of the show. Unlike the disappointing roast I had in Marylebone, I don't know. I'm not making a goddamn sweet red wine reduction sauce and passing it off as gravy. Yeah, gravy's got to be dirty, fucking salty shit made with the oil from the drippings of the meat, and we actually put a little bit of, well, we put beef stock in it, even some Vegemite, which you guys will find pretty funny, but it works. Sunny Christmas Day here in Auckland. Doing F all though, because we had Christmas a week early because my sister went to Italy, same as any other day now. Oh, well, that's alright. It's just hanging out. We're just sort of having a regular day here because my brother gets here tomorrow, my brother and his missus. So that's the sort of family catch-up day. And then the immediate family, and then the whole family's coming around here on the 27th, so it's going to be chaos. And that's the real sort of Christmas day. We already had the Christmas back at home with Michelle's side of the family. So we get like 4 Christmases, it's great. And then I'm going to do nothing but exercise, swim, build amps, push bike, mountain bike, bushwalking, and drinking lots of beer and whiskey. YouTube did that skip thing. Sorry, just reading the chat. What amps are you lot liking lately? I've been using 20 watt Silver Jubilee head instead of my Plexi clone, sounding great with a V30 and rack effects in the loop. Yeah, I like the Silver Jubilee. It's all just clipping distortion, but like diode clipping, but it just sounds like a really nice pedal. But yeah, I've been playing a lot of, well, Fender style stuff because I built that amp in the last, you saw in the last live stream. Forgot you left, so thought I finally lost it listening via headphones. Yeah, sorry, I just went to make Michelle a coffee. What was I saying? Oh yeah, that Tweed amp that I built. So I gave that to the customer before we went away, and he's sort of having a listen to it and seeing if he wants anything changed, and we can sort that out when I get back. I'm pretty happy and comfortable with where it ended up. I think it ended up a really nice sounding Tweed and a really nice sounding black panel in the one package, which is exactly what I was going for. Just bought the orange Ori Crush and Katana Gen 3 100, trying to find a PV Delta Blues 2x, sorry, chat's in the way. 2x10. Was the Delta Blues 2x10? Oh yeah, it was, yeah, because they were diagonally mounted, that's right. Foking. There's a restaurant in Wahiwa with that name. I was a vegetarian for the first 22 years. I eat meat now, but I'm not a huge fan, to be honest. A good steak can be okay. Proper salami is good, yeah. Lasagna too, roast lamb. Don't like pork though, icky stuff. Yeah, we tried to cook gumbo once, but I just can't get around the okra. The snot. Can't get around the okra snot. It's just, I don't know. I just can't do it. Can I do it? Oh, I better start up the soldering iron, eh? Rock that terminal down a bit. I suppose I should be ringing people to catch up for Christmas Day, but here's me being a loser in the garage while everyone's out there being human. But this is why you know and love me, eh? Because I'm a garage loser. The Fender Twin lets you play lead without needing lots of overdrive, smooth and sustaining. Yeah, that's a lot of that's to do with the fully bypass stages, I've found. Just don't be expecting to play like Megadeth with it. But like I was having I don't know if you're still there, Six, but Six was there when I first fired up that amp. The Tweed. I've made some tweaks since, but oh, hi! They're coming on the 27th. Should make some phone calls before I go to the beach. What were we saying? Oh yeah. So I fired the amplifier up for the first time, and Six hated it. It's like, yeah, well, it's not like there are different amps for different purposes, so. The beauty of that thing was you sort of can't tell where the note breaks up. Get your sound up front with whatever pedals you use, classic Fenders for clean headroom. Yeah, that's what I was talking to Scotty about from the Jets. He's basically tailored his tone to suit Hot Rod DeVilles and Deluxes. And that is done with pedals. Oh, Dad, you got to get a new holder for your soldering iron. So yeah, there's like, you can't expect one amp to do everything. Like, if you want that, you kind of need a modeler, eh? Or you need a multi-channel amp that has a different channel for each thing. Are we warm yet? Yep. Just sweat together those terminals so it holds together at the right centers. Leave the eyelet open so we can get the wire through it later on. Fully sick. 1 meg. Now I've got to go into my resistors. Oh no. Where are they? Jesus. I think I'm running low on 1 megs actually. I've got to order a shit ton of them. 1 meg, 100k. Well, that's 10 meg. 1 meg, 100k, 220k, 470k. That's ones you're gonna go through them. So just order in bulk every time. $100k carbon film. A lot of this is left over from the Marshall boards, which I'm going to get in production when I get back. I tried to get the first batch out and tested before I went away, but I just couldn't get everything done on time, man. It's been so stressful and fucking go every day for the last 2 months that I had to put all the side projects on the back burner to just keep everyone off my back, because I was getting phone calls every day asking where shit is and why it's so late, and demanding ETAs and telling me that I'm not working fast enough or hard enough, despite working 15 hours a day, 7 days a week. Essentially, I should have shut off repairs back in November, but I kept taking some of the guitar stuff in, and then that would put me behind, and a bit of a nightmare, eh? Won't do that again. But you live and learn, champs. Live and learn. Capacitors, resistors, diodes. Let's go semiconductors there. Film caps there. That's the beautiful Weimers. Electrolytics over there. And then I'll split the resistors up by type. Power rating, composition. You know the deal. Hope I've got enough heater wiring. Might have to pinch some wiring off that. There we go. 1 meg, half watt, carbon film. Hi me, got to slow me down though. Burns nose. I've done that with a soldering iron. Your top lip is very sensitive to temperature for some reason. Probably because that's what nearest to what you eat. Is it possible for a multi-channel amp to do a legit Fender Twin with reverb, but also a spot-on plexi? Yeah, so that amp that I built, the Tweed thing, is 2 completely individual channels all the way up to the output valves. So there's no reason you couldn't do that with 2 completely, like, mix and match. Like, what preamps do you want? Fucking, they're completely independent. It doesn't matter. You could have a SLO on one channel and a Fender Twin on the other. You could have a fucking Fender Harvard on one channel and a 5150 on the other. The sky's the limit, because you are switching it after the phase inverter. The entire topology of the preamp is independent. So there's no reason you couldn't create 2 separate boards that are 2 completely different front ends, and then have just a switching board which switches between them. Don't care for Engel amps when I'm working on them. Look, Engels sound fantastic. Everyone says the design sucks because the board's upside down, but in a lot of cases, you have to lift the board if you're working on, like, look at a lot of the Mesa stuff. The boards are so overpopulated that even though the boards are the right way up, often you have to access the bottom side to do it properly anyway, and they're actually all hardwired, whereas the Engels use connectors for a lot of stuff, so they're actually better. The problem with Engel though is they're like Mesa. They use these hair thin traces for all HT stuff, and if you have a problem, they'll just burn open and destroy the PCB. I don't know why they use such thin traces on the HT. It's like they want it to be a fuse, but it just burns the PCB if that happens. Arcs and shit. But they sound awesome. I love the, I had the Thunder 50 Engel, one of the last amps I did for the year, and it was awesome. Besides Mesa, is there any other amp company that gets under your skin with their design choices? If you're talking the big guys, yeah, Fender. Fender's just put the same mistakes into the same amps to the point where you've got to ask whether they're actually mistakes or not. Are they actually planning for these things to fail, so you have to buy another amp? Anything from a lot of the boutique guys, they're just copying Fender layouts directly with no real thought or understanding of the circuit, and then they charge like $10,000. The biggest issue I've got with the boutique stuff is the marketing lies and wank factor. Oh look, I got Joe Bonamassa to buy one of my amps, but Joe Bonamassa will buy fucking anything and just put it in a cupboard and not play it. Like, he might play it for 1 gig and that's it. So, you know, they use it as a marketing factor. Like, oh look, Joe Bonamassa bought my amp. Joe Bonamassa would buy anything and put it in his cupboard. He doesn't give a fuck. He's a millionaire too. What matters to me, I can't believe I've got to explain this, but what matters to me is when you've got someone who can only afford 1 amp and they're a touring, gigging musician, that's the person whose decision I would trust more than fucking Joe Bonamassa, who has 1,500 amps and never plays them. But not only that, he's rich. He can afford to buy a piece of shit, and he can afford to take it to a tech to get the tech to make it work. Whereas the bloke who's struggling to survive as a working musician can't. So they need a reliable amplifier that fulfills their need, and is just brick shit house solid. And then they see Joe Bonamassa's bought one, and they go and buy one, and it's a pile of fucking turd, and you know, he's not responsible. He's got no, you know, consequences for telling you to buy a piece of shit. AC30 channel and a high watt DR103 channel. I bet that might be tricky. Well, no, because if you're switching after the phase inverter, you got 2 very different phase inverters there, long tail pair and a fixed bias long tail pair. The DR103. So you're switching after the phase inverter, so you've got a lot of like stuff going on there, but there's no reason you couldn't put those together, because you're just taking 2 completely independent preamps and tapping them both into a power amp. I was doing a repair. The only difference is AC30, a lot of the tone comes from the EL84s, sorry, and then breaking up. Whereas the high watt, a lot of its character is it just not breaking up. So you got very different output stages. If you were going to try and get the essence of both, you'd be talking a post-phase inverter master volume on probably both, if not just the AC30. So you can at least get the phase inverter break up, because that's a large factor of the AC30 tone. Martin Reed was doing a repair a couple of days ago and used a jeweler's loop with the iron right in my nose. Did YouTube drop my comment? I don't know, probably not, Jason, but I'd have to scroll back and have a look. Seth and Joe have it right. Not everything Cajun is okra. What was your comment? Sometimes YouTube just will flag a comment and it might come through later. Fender are just a brand now, not an actual company, yeah. Engel schematics are notoriously horrible with Vias to nowhere, really. Bad PCBs in parts that were duff when they were brand new. He has nice Instagram photos. Who's that? You and Lyle have been highlighting bad fender design choices for years, so yeah, they most probably aren't mistakes anymore. What about orange and their solid state offers like the Super Crush? Yeah, the orange stuff's good. The solid state stuff's obviously always going to be low budget, so they cut corners quite a bit in terms of construction quality. So you might get things like cracked solder joints and stuff pretty commonly. But yeah, the topology wise, they're pretty good. Billy Gibbons was famous for playing all sorts of boutique amps and playing them live once. Yeah, that's right. Plays them once and then puts them away. The amp maker gets a photo op and the amp gets stuck in the corner in Gibbons' basement forever. Yeah, and then they just base their entire career on that one event. And musicians lap it up, unfortunately. And then they get screwed because they only care about getting money out of their wallet. 1 meg. Here's to another big. Scotty, how you going, legend? How many flatty have you caught so far? Well, I've got my rod down here. Where's my rod? I just got a little rod, little river rod. So I lent my fishing rod to someone, and they claimed it got fucking stolen. So they gave me a shit Kmart one. Fucking never lending anything to anyone ever again. No tools. If you want a tool, get fucked. Buy your own. Shimano Sonic Bait Series. Sonic Bait Series. I got the Sonic Bait 702 snapper, 4 to 8 kilogram. Carbon fibre. I'll take that down to the river. And the estuaries. Good spot for flatties. Oh, I just bumped something off the shelf. Sorry, Dad. Yeah, it's got a Shimano Sienna reel, which I've got to rig up again. I'll put it away and let it get a bit dusty, but yeah, it's alright. Not corroded or anything, so I'll give it a freshen up. Take that down. And let's be honest. Probably more occupied with drinking beer by a river than actually catching anything, but both is good. Mike McCready is using Tone Masters. Yeah, I saw that, but Fender gives them to him. Yeah, and what happens when it blows up? They get another one. Don't trust the amp decisions of rich people. For obvious fucking reasons, champions. Bruce Zinke had a few Billy. Bruce Zinke's he's done some really silly shit, so let's not talk about him. Heading for a fish wasabi. Of course you are, mate. Are you just at home for the Chrissy break, mate? Or are you travelling? You look pretty spent after that last gig, buddy. I went and saw Screaming Jets at the Metro Champions. Scotty's the guitarist, SK man. And he bloody invited us backstage, legend. Got to meet Davo. Scotty's like, oh, this is the amp bloke I've been talking about. And Dave's like, yeah, whatever. Pretty much expected. Oh, just realised I'm not on the right view. Let's go back to the overhead. Me out of the way. Where's my lead forming tool? That would come in handy right now. Nope, left it behind. Damn it. I think Dad's got one too. No? Guess not. Yeah, need a week off. Man, touring must bloody take it out of you. course, no one's going to pay me to play guitar, so still jealous. I did deep sea fishing for 12 years, but I know F all about recreational fishing with a rod. So do I. But like I say, it's about the chase, not the catch. Take a couple of beers. Take the old hat down because I'm a ranger. Alrighty then. Just a little bit of solder on there, lock it in, leave the eyelets open for the wires. And the resistor passing through the two eyelets that join the jack will lock it in. Eddie? G'day Lou, otherwise known as Chris. I don't know how long you've been here. Oh yeah, he's just joined us. Bruce Sinky lives up in Flagstaff. He hates my guts. My desktop had a data sharing error with the email and emailed him the same email about 20,000 times. That is classic, Seth. Oh well, don't worry about him. My wife was out seeing her mum yesterday. I got my Les Paul and open up my Gemino. No substitute for volume. That's true, Victor. Geminos are beautiful amplifiers, and it warms my heart that you are enlightening your neighbourhood to its virtues. Let's put it that way. Any opinions on the myth of the old Les Pauls? Yeah, I don't know. They're just guitars. I don't get into the whole fucking fawning over some bit of wood with strings on it thing. That's why I'll never be rich, because I can't convince people that magical unicorn farts live within vintage equipment. I don't really give a fuck. It's about the rock and roll. Although Scotty's gold top was sounding pretty magical a few weekends ago. What is that, Scotty? Is that a like a reissue, or? Like I say, I'm not nerdy enough. Guitars usually come to me because the headstock's broken off, not because someone wants me to value it or, you know, evaluate it. We made an agreement that we were going to exchange gifts tomorrow when my brother and my sister-in-law, I can say that now, when my brother and my sister-in-law are here, but now I can hear people exchanging something inside. I feel like I'm missing out. Damn it. Fill the eyelet. Gotcha. I'm building my first amp. A Christmas present for myself. A 583. Did the heaters today and dreaming of more chassis real estate. Yeah, tweeds are tight. So if you've run the heaters, you run them along the lip across the front. That was a mistake I made years ago. On your brother and sister-in-law getting married. Yeah, cheers. So yeah, the 583s, there's a few tricks to do. I would suggest visiting this page. Copy link. visit this page, Rob's page, 5E3 mods. Now the two mods, if you're going to do anything, I would suggest, is floating the heaters off the cathode with an artificial center tap, and putting a somewhere between 470 to 1 meg, I go 1 meg, grid stopper on the phase inverter. And if you're that way inclined, remove the ground knob and put a master volume in there. It doesn't have to be post phase inverter, but a nice master volume on those things really brings it to life at volumes that you can. They are loud amps, very loud. Brings it to life at volumes you can maybe not get evicted at. If you build a new guitar like an old guitar, it sounds like an old guitar, yes. Only problem is getting Brazilian rosewood, but I doubt you can hear it. We've got a big slab of Brazilian rosewood at home. And a huge slab of Brazilian mahogany. Like, massive. Like, you could get 2 bodies out of it, thickness-wise. I think we actually did get it resawn, so we could make 2 bodies. I was saving it to make an SG from scratch one day. I was going to build an SG with some of my improvements. Capital Electronic was going out of business. I was getting stocked up on passive parts for 5 cents on the dollar. I thought I'd like to let Bruce know about the deals. He was pissed. Oh well. Let someone else have them. Yeah, a 1960 classic 2000 reissue. It's a beautiful thing. That's his gold top that he was playing at the gig. How'd that strap go, man? Was that long enough for you? Speaking of half gone juniors, did you see? Oh yeah, I saw the thumbnail. Oh, I've got to watch that later on. All I saw was the thumbnail. I'm thinking, Jesus, that's a lot of work to bring it back. Because yeah, I do Lou Theory stuff as well, and I sometimes see the jobs he takes on. And I'm like, oh, that's a good few days in that. I hope he's charging accordingly. I'm sure he is. I already visited Rob's page and I already did the elevated heaters. There you go. There's no ground or standby. Excellent. So yeah, chuck a pot there and put a post-phase inverter master volume, or maybe even a pre-phase inverter master volume, like I was saying. If you do a pre-phase inverter master volume, then you don't have to worry about like blocking and stuff, blocking distortion and stuff, but you don't get the like massive out of control breakup that you can get out of those things. So it's a tasting. Try both. See which one works the best for you. Be careful. Don't electrocute yourself. First amp, just take it very slow and methodically, and always check that the caps are discharged before you stick your hands in it. Also repurpose the second speaker output for switchable cathode bypass cap and negative feedback. Cool. Switchable cathode bypass. On what stage? The output stage? I was buying these guitars 50 years ago when they were just second-hand guitars. Now the market's gone crazy. Yeah. That guitar is for sale on Reverb for $5,400 plus $800 shipping. Jesus. Triple boxing it and fucking insurance and... Wow. We put the grid stoppers on there now, you reckon? Why not? It's easier when they're out. Do we want to go metal film? Do I want to put the grid stoppers? Do I want to go 47k and then put a 10k on the socket? Nah, it should be right. Sometimes I do that for lower noise floor, but meh. $220, 68, 56k. Those can go over there, so can they. They can go there. Film caps. 10k. 55.6k. How many bags of 220 cable got? Must have ordered them twice or something. 1K. Almost completely sorted everything. Trim pots. More trim pots. 10 meg. Alright. Wish I could get the 90% tapped master volume pots Fender use. Why? A trail bleed cap is tied in it. I remove that. I hate the sound of that bright cap. Came up with an SG Telly double neck in a dream. Woke up and mocked it up in Photoshop. A few years later, guys started making them. Really? Oh, I think I saw someone post that on Insta not long ago. 2 levels of taming the 5E3 beast if ever needed. Yeah, 5E3s are pretty wild amps, man. A lot of people think they want one and then they actually play one and they're like, holy shit. They are unruly beasts. You start breaking up at like 1, you get volume, you start breaking up. This is tricky. I think I need to cut some lead off. You've got to poke your tongue out to do this, champions. Make sure you don't forget it. There's one thing you got to do. It's poke your tongue out while wiring input jacks. Not a chance doing this if it was in the Chazier. Deluxe reverb is a much more useful and easier to live with amp. Depends what you're going for, man. If you want full out of control, like, or just you know, nice smooth breakup. 5E3 is great. The deluxe reverbs are a bit harder to make break up, and when they do it a bit more aggressively. So it depends what you're after. There's no right or wrong. It's just whatever suits the style that you happen to be playing. What I say is just have one of each. Why not? Why not? Stay. Ordered a deluxe reverb head and 4x10 cab for it. Yeah, deluxe reverb into a Marshall quad is quite a formidable beast. Alright, made a little hook there. Let's have a look. It's focusing on my face. Come on, Penny boy. Sony boy. Here we go. That's the assembly. Strap fits like a charm. Yeah, I built a 5V3, love it, but fuck me, it's loud. Yeah, they're loud, eh? Everyone's like, oh, 15 watt amp, but no, with no negative feedback and a sensitive speaker, they are very loud amps. Studio, it's a dream. Home, it's not ideal without an attenuator, yeah. Gold lives at 4 and above on the volume. Killer. I love the super, but they're too big. Same for the twin, yes. Thanks for your live stream, Brad. You were right up there with the best amp techs on YouTube. Have a happy and peaceful Christmas. I don't know about that, but I do my best. Sometimes I don't do my best. Sometimes I could do better, but very busy boy, mate. What am I doing? Got the other jacks in there still. Silly bugger. You can always improve, mate. Or is that a thing, Marshall quad? I don't care for Marshalls much generally. I'm just saying, if you use one of their cabs with a Fender amp, closed back, real solid bottom end, sometimes they can be pretty surprising. Like if you use a Bassman into a Marshall quad, you start to realise they're not that different an amp from the JTM 45. And the genesis of Marshall becomes a lot clearer. It's just Fender rip-offs. Fully sick, bro. This 4D shaft of sound starts reflecting around the room, yeah. Yeah, that's the thing with the closed backs, they're much more focused. I think I like an open back for like blues. But when it comes to metal or rock, I love a closed back. Wind's picking up. Put it the right way. Yep. Oh, hang on. Let me solder the twisted pair. Actually, I should be putting these on the turret board. Yeah, I think that was part of my layout. What am I putting them on the jack for? Ah, well, I'll just put them on now and take them off later if I end up putting them on the board themselves. Because that would make sense. I'm just getting too excited, champs. Getting ahead of myself. Oh, dropping it on the floor. What were you saying about a good tech? Wrong way. Don't have a brass plate, Wes. I'm grounding with a ground bus instead on the turret board. She's not going to be a standard Fender layout. It's going to be a little bit like the Princeton I made last year. Can you guys hear the cicadas in the background? Alright, panel's locked in. Champions, I'll just get the hardware installed on this, and I think I might leave this, because I feel like I'm neglecting the family a bit. I tried once the pig nose 40 watt tube combo, but threw a 4x10 instead. Yeah, it's pretty amazing to hear an unleashed amp through a big sensitive speaker cabinet, even if it's a tiny amp. Like play a 5 watter through a cicadas 24/7 with your tinnitus. That's not fun. The Vox Domino bass that I have at the workshop, well, the shop for sale. When I plug that in through a big Marshall quad, even though it's a 4 or 5 watt amp, it sounds like a beast. It's crazy. I thought it was my ears. Have you guys all got tinnitus or what? You can hear them pulsing in and out, the cicadas. They sort of follow each other. Comes in waves. Put the little washers in there. See you, Scotty. Have a good break, mate. Happy fishing day. Put the tooth washers in there. Just sorting stuff out. Sorry, legends. Sounds like a room full of dying cathode ray tube monitors, yeah. Man, those things used to be scary. I remember Dad discharging them before he worked on them. Dad actually used to repair the bloody things. Oop. Back in the 80s/90s. They were bloody expensive. They still are. They've gone up in value. There's like this Facebook page is dedicated to CRT users. They call it the CRT Collective or something, I think. People making vintage gaming rigs with cathode ray screens and whatever. I remember people putting up the anti-radiation guards in front of them like they did anything. I think that nut's an odd one out. Might change that off. Not legends, champions. True. I normally say legends when I'm on someone else's channel, in the comment section or whatever, and I'll say champions when I'm here. Couple of decades worth of standing right in the firing line of the drummer's crash cymbals does that too. Yeah, you often find bass players end up deaf in the right ear and guitar players end up deaf in the left ear because of the drummer. It's always the drummer's fault, and the drummer just ends up deaf in both ears. Alright, so I cheated a bit here and got myself a Tube Amp Doctor Deluxe Reverb pot set. So what are we doing? 250k. So that's the bass and treble. I need nuts on the back so they're not sticking out like dog's balls. Champions is genuinely inspiring. Yeah, it's good, man. You are champions. You're a bunch of legends. I want to see you do well in life. Genuinely. That's why I call you that. think it's good to have positivity in this world, you know, and the amp world. As negative as people think I am. That's just often tongue-in-cheek humour that people take a bit too seriously. Champions become legends. Well, there was a Faith No More lyric. Something about when you die, you become something worse than dead. You become a legend. C50K. That is the intensity. Why not put in a modern spec desk cap? Because it doesn't do anything. Tell me why I should put one in. You put in a suppression cap if you want, but what's the point? So suppression caps on most equipment is to comply with FCC regulations of a switch mode power supply not letting noise back into the mains. You can prevent, in some cases, noise coming in as well, but that's generally what good grounding does too. Over there in the States, you may have some non-polarized venues with non-polarized plugs still. No grounding. In that case, I wouldn't play that venue. Sorry, your life's more important than $50 for a gig. I don't fucking know. Admiral Quality's getting frustrated. But yeah, generally they're meant for FCC compliance. We don't worry about that for our homemade builds, do we? But yeah, you could use an X2 class cap or Y class cap in that situation. But I just find there's no need for it, so I don't worry about it. Still wrapping presents. You can let the secret out here. What'd you get everyone, Paul? I was joking about the schematic showing death caps. Oh, I didn't see your comment, Jim. Yeah, well, that's the thing though. A lot of the boutique brands, they just copy the layouts directly to the wire and use an orange drop as a ground cap, which is illegal because it's not compliant and it's dangerous, and they often come in shorted. I had some fuckwit in the comments the other day saying I don't know anything about amps because I removed a shorted death cap. He said, oh, something to the effect of, it's fine, you should have left it in, now it's not original. And I'm like, and he started insulting me and calling me names. I said, the cap is shorted. Like, it's a death, it's literally why they call it a death cap. If you didn't have a ground pin, or you had a bad ground in a house, or your cord was faulty, or your ground fault interrupter doesn't work, your fucking guitar would be at mains potential. It would kill you. Like, and he's like, you should have left it in. You're a dickhead because you took it out. I'm like, I think it was just a troll, so I banned him for life. I don't have time for trolls. Fuck off. What is this grounding you speak of? We've actually got pretty good electrical code over here. They sort of standardized it all pretty early on. So it's pretty safe here in Australia. C3M, that's the reverb speed. Russian bots. Yeah, I've got a couple of Russian bot things recently. Just a name with a long string of numbers at the end saying something like but how do you know it's not the Democrats' fault? I'm like, and there was nothing like in the video at all that was anything political at all. So they just have bots just randomly commenting shit on others' videos just to sow fucking bullshit out there. It's reverbs. Did I say reverb speed? It's because I looked reverb speed. I meant trem speed. You know what I mean. They call it vibrato, but it's not. It's tremolo. Stop splitting hairs. Right, so I can't get that pot in there because I've already put the bias pot in. I should have known that beforehand. Loads of stuff, some board games after... What? I've automatically blocked any comment that has a web address in it so I don't get the Amazon bots. Oh, there's the other pot. It's looking for you. Just undo that bias trim pot, bias pot. Jesus, I'd say move into another house, Joe, but I understand the difficulties with that too. Oh, that may have stopped my helpful links. Yeah, the only way you can post a link is by being a admin or a mod. It's just too much to manage. Got you. We're just about there, legends. Then I'll start laying the board out over the next few days, or maybe not the next few days, because the next few days is all about Christmas and family. No, it's not a kit. It's original. It's just the chassis and the front and back panel I got from Tube Amp Doctor. Everything else I've sourced myself. So it's going to be a layout that was done in DIY LC, and then I'll print that out and drill it on the fiberglass, which I showed earlier in the stream, but I don't think you were here for that. I'm going to cut this down to size. It goes in there, turret's installed, and we'll do a sort of optimised layout as best we can with my little manky brain. And do a little deluxe reverb. We're going to forget about the doghouse. There's going to be no doghouse caps on this one. There's going to be radials mounted on this board. So similar thing that I did to a year ago on the Princeton Reverb, which I'll just see if I can show you if I got any photos up. Did I put photos up? I don't know. Winston. That's Scotty built one too. Come on, internet. Come on, internet. I thought I did post photos of it. Maybe I didn't. January 11th, I did it last year. I was doing the case. The cabinet. Could have sworn I posted photos. Maybe I just did it on the personal page. Oh, bear with me, legends. Can you search your own profile page? I don't know. This is Facebook, and Oh, hang on. No, shit. Go back. Oh, God. I hate it when stuff changes just under your under your cursor as you click. No. Oh, yeah, there we go. Alright, so here's, I'll just show you. Hang on. No, not Outlook. Fuck me. Mouse cursor's lagging. So then when you click, it's clicked on the thing next to what you're trying to click because it's lagging. Desk share. There we go. So that's the Princeton, and as you can see, Princeton reverb. As you can see, we've got some. I just used whatever caps I had at the time because again, ordering stuff this time of year, it doesn't turn up till February. There I used some axials, but I'm going to use radials for everything in this case. But that's the idea. So very simple layout. Keep the connections to the valves as short as possible. And looking at this, did I use... Can't see, it's blurry, but I think I can see a grid stopper in there. I'll probably split them between the front and the back, as I sometimes do. Put a 10k in the valve socket and 47k on the valve, on the input jack. So yeah, it was a bit of fun. So basically doing the same thing, but for a deluxe reverb this time. So there you go. Very pretty like candy. Problem is this board's a bit ugly green, but you know, whatever. We're not sitting there looking at the guts of it while we're playing it, are we? Stuck in hospital. Sucks a festering mule cock. Well, I hope you're doing alright, David. That sucks. I was in hospital over Christmas one year because I dropped a knife on my foot and it wasn't that fun. Bro, my son lives in Baltimore, so all the row houses are the same, unfortunately. So that's the bad power. May drive a few ground rods in his backyard. They have none. Bloody hell. Yeah, it's not a very expensive way to make it a bit safer if you could, but yeah, that sounds a bit rough. It will be turret, yeah. I don't use eyelets for anything if I can avoid it. Jim Cox, but is it okay to use or is it... Oh, I'll just let you guys discuss that. I don't know what you're talking about. Except fixing that bad fender fiberboard that gets conductive after decades. Yeah, well, that's why I'm using this stuff. Cursor Scoot. Yeah, that's a good name for it, actually, Admiral. And sometimes it's annoying to describe these things, and when you come up with a good term for it, it makes it a bit less stressful. Bro, to build a deluxe reverb, I use surplus 20 microfarad bipolar motor run caps for filter caps that work just fine too. Yeah, probably would. 420 UF, you say Ducati, but I think you mean Ducon. 300 volt AC rated caps. Mounted them just like Marshall's blue filter caps. Where are all the burnt spots? That looks mint, even better than Fender's hand-wired Princeton. What the fuck, Fender? Yeah. So like I say, in the future, this will be my last, sort of one of my last turret boards, and I'm going to make circuit boards, similar layout, 2mm thick, with big fat holes for the components, or maybe not even, just nice big fat pads. 2-ounce copper that you can drop into a reissue. If the reissue is all hacked up or whatever, you can just drop in a circuit board and away you go. And it's built like a brick shithouse. Right, I'm going to watch A Nightmare Before Christmas and finish wrapping. Enjoy, Paul. We all do our traditional stuff this time of year. Merry Christmas, champion. Chrissy dinner is smelling good by my 90-year-old mum while I sneak a quick stream. Get back to it, Bart. Wiring up 3-prong power. Brad, I'm not sure what to use to connect transformer to neutral. I'm not sure what to use to connect transformer to neutral if I want to keep the ground switch. I just do a proper splice and double heat shrink it, Jim. So neutral directly to the transformer. This is in Australia, mind you. You have to have a polarized plug for this. Neutral directly to the transformer, active to the fuse tip, fuse ring to the power switch, other side of the power switch to the other side of the transformer primary. Why not PC, Brad? One could probably cover all of the fenders. Yeah, well, if you did an AB763 PCB, you could use that for a lot of different fenders. Obviously, anything with the AB763 layout. But, yeah, you've got to match screw holes and stuff for the reissues, so... I'd love to be able to do one for the Tone Masters, but the problem with the Tone Masters is the chassis is not up to scratch, and it's got all vent cutouts and stuff that where the valves need to go, so it's no good. No, it's Ducati. I swear it's Ducati. Okay, yeah, it could be. I mean, it's just someone's last name, isn't it? So, lots of vintage Vox Thomas wire pedals have Ducati 4 microfarad caps inside of them. I just said Ducon because I thought it might have got auto-corrected, but in hindsight, I think Ducon's an Australian brand, so you probably haven't run into any of them. Ducon was an Australian electrolytic cap manufacturer. Alright, legends, we'll line up these pots, cinch them down, and then I'll piss off and leave you to it for the day. Now, I guess the next stream will be the New Year's Eve stream, but in the meantime I might do a Q&A, finish off the questions that were asked last time. I might turn that one that way. Yeah, I can do it later if needed. Desmo valves, yeah, Desmodromic. Love the Desmos. They're worth a bit of coin now too. So yeah, I'm just doing a turret build because I didn't have time to develop a circuit board for this one over the last chaotic few months. So I just wanted to build something relaxing, and I do enjoy and relax by building amps. It's a weird thing, but I do. So with the turret boards, you can plan on the run because you don't have to order any PCBs that have lead times. So you can just build. Thanks, Brad. I've seen a couple of guys use straight solder splices, but wasn't sure if that's best practice. So when you do a splice, if you can, they call it the NASA splice. You can look it up, Jim. It's where basically you create 2 hooks, then you twist the wire back around on itself and then solder it. Don't just do a bloody tack weld. That's a tack solder. That's not a splice. You need to actually make the thing sort of tie them together. Just be aware of the diameter of your heat shrink. Make sure it's suitable before you do it, because redoing it's a pain in the ass, particularly if you cut the stuff short. Desmodici, that's it. Not Desmodromic. What am I talking about? Desmodici. It's been a while. Happy knife dropping anniversary. I picked up the big chef's knife. Dad's got one that's fucking monster. It's like that big. I'm coming down. Blade's about that big. Handle's about that big. I'm trying to cut a chili with it. I'm like, what am I using this thing for? I just need a little petty knife or something. And I thought, yeah, let's not use big knives around Christmas anymore. Thanks for the year of knowledge, mate. Merry Christmas. Same to you, Ben. Thanks for bloody joining us all the time, you legend. Champion, sorry. What method do you prefer for preamp, grounds, brass plate, bus wire, etc.? They can all work if done right, but I prefer a bus wire. In this layout, I have the ground bus going down the center of the board, and that way you've got your cathode, as you saw over on the let me just line this up again. If you look at this one, I've got a ground wire, I think here. That's the sort of got almost like a ground bus going across. You can see the bypass caps, the grid leaks, everything going across there. There are some plate supplies too, so I think I jumped the wire across. I can't remember. I've got a photo somewhere at the bottom. But yeah, essentially, if you've got your preamp bus, power bus, and your ground bus next to it, you can sort of get your plate supply over there. I might rethink all this stuff a bit. I want to keep the bypass cap, the bypass and biasing resistor for each stage pretty short, because I want to use the radial caps. In this case, I was a bit longer because I was using axials. So I'll probably go like the power bus. You can see the droppers over here. The power bus on this side, and then the ground bus a bit closer, running next to each other. And then the ground bus can be used for all the volumes and stuff at the front. And I don't ground anything to the cap body, the pot bodies, because replacing a pot's painful when you do that. So you can just desolder the wires to the pot and take her off the front panel. A lot of these wires sort of went over here a bit. I'm going to try and optimize it a bit more on this one if I can. A lot like, I don't know if you saw the, actually probably didn't, the photos of that amp build I did recently. I think it was the personal Facebook page. I don't know that I've publicized that one yet because I was waiting till I finalized it. Where are we? Oh, someone's messaging me. Oh, it's Christmas Day. Everyone's just saying Merry Christmas. I ended up getting an awesome... oh, no. I got Cursor Scoot again. Thanks for that, Admiral. Cursor Scoot. There's some Grindcore Christmas album that I shared. Maybe I did post it on the guitar page. I didn't think I did. Photos. Come on, internet, you can do it. Did I not post it anywhere? Is that it? Oh, I just did like a sneak preview. Shit, how do I do that then? I'll unplug power for a minute maybe and... Just bear with me, champions. We'll be back in a sec. They're watching me inside and trying to figure out why I was inside while they're still watching me. They didn't realise there's a lag to the stream. Alright. Got the USB drive. Let's share some photos, eh? Maybe this one's the clearest. Alright, let's share this. So you can see down here, I've got all the valve stuff sort of... Oh, hang on. This is the tweed thing I built. I've got all stuff as sort of close as I could get it. This is all Teflon wire. I think I showed in the last stream. But I'm trying to get everything as close to the valve and as close to its control as I can. You can see here everything went off a little bit because the chassis goes over further than a typical 5E3. And you've got the input jack to contend with. So everything's offset a bit there. Kind of unavoidable unless you want the PCB to start here. And then you lose a lot of space. So everything's pushed over a bit because you've got power supply stuff up one end. But point being, I'm trying to get stuff as close to its control or as close to its valve as I can possibly get. So yeah, might notice this one. I talked about it in the last stream. Showed you, did some sound samples, but it's basically a 5E3 standard 5E3 cabinet with a aftermarket chassis, which I got built locally. It's TIG welded corners, stainless steel, laser cut, folded on their CNC bloody press brake. But it goes right up to the cleats. There's about a 3mm gap either end. Can't see that end, but it allows you to do a lot more with the standard 5E3 cabinet than you could otherwise do. Here I've just got a solid state rectified power supply. You can see it, it's blurry, but so I've just put that in there to blank it out, but I'll get some plates made up. But you could use a valve rectifier in that case as well, and you got 4 preamp valves, so you got some more options in the preamp there. But just trying to get everything, sort of copying the stuff I did on this layout, but in a turret format. Obviously everything's a bit more spread out because the turrets are bigger, but that's the principle that I want to try and achieve. Is there a Brad's Princeton kit coming? There could be in the future, but at the moment no plans for that. Partially because I don't have time. Well, mainly because I don't have time. Anywho, legends, I might leave you to it. But thanks for joining us again. And I'm going to do a Q&A. Finish off the Q&A questions that I didn't get to in the last, or that have been posted on the last video. So if you've got any questions for me, leave them here. Hang on. And I'll try and do one before the year's out. So what I do, right, is I'll do a Q&A video, and then in that Q&A video, you leave your questions for the next episode. So if you've got any questions, pop over there, leave the questions in the comments, and I'll compile them all and probably answer them while doing a bushwalk, although I think the cicadas will be deafening, so maybe that's not a good idea like it was last time. So just one thing before I go. Trying to think what relation. Shell's sister and her fiance went to Mexico recently. He got a massive tattoo all across it. He goes over to Arizona to a tattoo guy over there and gets his whole body's an artwork and gets bits added to it every year around this time. So he went over to get some more stuff done, but they swung by Mexico on the way there, I believe, and they got this for me. They spotted it, just happened to spot it at a shop where they make handmade pottery and stuff. Check it out. What do you reckon? How's the likeness there? I wonder if I existed in a past life over there or something. Yeah, they ended up bringing it back for me for a Christmas present. I want to reach out to the artist and give them some cash to make it a t-shirt design. They probably don't know how to do PDFs and stuff, but I'll just give it to my artist and say, look, can you make a vector, vector version of that? And we'll put it on a t-shirt. Anyway, I just thought you might like that. So there you go. Someone had visions of Brad, yeah. Maybe they're a YouTube viewer, I don't know. You never know. How many viewers have I got in Mexico? I think there's like 3. I did look at the demographics not too long ago, and yeah, I think there was like 2 or 3 in Mexico. I'm a Mayan god. I don't know about that, Wes. I don't feel very godlike, but anyway. Alright, champions, take it easy. Merry whatever. Merry Pistmas. I'm going to go to the beach and go for a swim. And go for a bike ride and do all that fun stuff. So I hope you do too. Take it easy. Don't take it too seriously. Don't get stressed out. I'll see you on the next one.